Hel- hello. Aldrin Aldenay here. I am with the amazing Katie St. Clair today. She's coming to us all the way from Townsville. Hello, Katie. Great to see you. And we're going to be talking. Hello. We're going to be talking about the Global Good News Challenge as well as the kindness community, which are things that both Katie and I are aligned with, that we both believe that there needs to be more good news and more kindness in the community, particularly now. So Katie approached me just last week and said, I'd love to chat about the Global Good News Challenge. And I said, well, let's do it on Monday because Monday is the launch of the 8-day Global Good News Challenge for August, which is very exciting. And we actually started the Global Good News Challenge in June. We had a 7, 14 and 21-day challenge in June. And then last month in July, we had a 5-day challenge. And now it's 8 days starting today. And actually this Saturday is Good News Day, which is something that I set up also in 2018. Katie, I set up the Good News Day on the 8th of the 8th, 18. And here we are on the 3rd year of the Good News Days happening on Saturday. So the Global Good News Challenge, people can start anytime within the 8 days from today up until next Monday. And it's just 8 consecutive days of Facebook Lives where you share your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news. So how about I kick it off and then, Katie, we'll do your Good News Challenge for today and then we can have a chat about all the other things we do. Yeah. So, all right. So this is how it goes. So you just say your name, what you do again, and 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news. So I'm Aldrin Aldenay, known as the Media Queen. What I do is I help people get their message to the masses using online and offline media. 3 things I'm grateful for today is I'm grateful for the beautiful Katie who's coming to join us. And I'm so grateful, Katie, that you reached out last week when I was doing an interview with Sheila and you made a whole lot of comments on that. And then we connected afterwards and had a great chat. So I'm really grateful for you today, Katie. I am grateful for technology to be able to bring you this message today. And I'm also grateful for the beautiful beach walk I had this morning and for the glorious swim in the ocean. Yes, it was a bit cold. It is winter here on the Gold Coast, although it feels like summer. It was very exhilarating, and I feel amazing now after doing that. And also grateful for the amazing 3-day Be a Beacon program I just did with Bex Thompson in Bribie Island, and that was all about stepping into your femininity, a lot of meditation, yoga, trusting yourself, etc., stepping into that inner wisdom, tapping into that intuition. That was amazing 3 days as well I've just had, and very grateful for the ladies that were at that event. And my good news today is that we have the Global Good News Challenge launching today. Of course, that's the good news, and that the Good News Day is on Saturday. So over to you, Katie, for your Good News Challenge for today. So your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news.
Yeah, thanks, Alwood, for agreeing to let's have a chat. My name is Katie St. Clair. I am the founder of the Kindness Community, which was launched in January 2018. And my grateful for today is, again, technology, because we've been able to catch up like this, and you've taught me quite a few things in just a short time, which is lovely. Then, I had a walk this morning too with a friend's puppy dog, so it's always nice to take the animals out, and just the unconditional love you get when you take an animal somewhere. So they're friendly with you, and we had a really nice walk. It had been overcast this morning, and then the sun came out. It was lovely, really nice and warm. And my third one is that we can be grateful for people being kind. That's a big thing for me. I think it's not hard to be kind, and it's something, one of the things I practice all the time is to smile. Just no matter who I go past, send a smile, and it's like bubble over you. And I like people that smile. So that's my grateful.
Cool. Yeah, beautiful. And what's your good news for today?
My good news is that we're going to spread your Good News Challenge on our platform for you. I'm really excited about that. That I think they're very much in synchronicity about what we're hoping to bring a bit more love to this world. So it's really nice that we can be cross-pollinating basically with each other.
Yes. Yes, here's the famous love heart. Here it is.
Yeah, I love it.
Here's the love heart. And I love what you say there, Katie. You know, walking on the beach this morning, just about everyone I walked past, I smiled and they smiled back. And it was just lovely. And it almost feels now since COVID that people are actually really reaching out and they're wanting to connect with others. And it's just a beautiful thing. And, of course, the people walking their dogs on the beach, at the part of the beach where the dogs are allowed, it was also wonderful. Every time I see a dog, I just smile. You know, every time I see any kind of animal, actually, I smile because they're just phenomenal. I mean, right now I've got crows out the front here that are probably hungry, that are making noise. And, some people might find crows annoying. There's my cat meowing now as well. So, it's all happening here. We've got the animal kingdom going on right here.
The possum there too.
That's right. There's a possum that I said it's pregnant possum, but I think it has its little baby in its pouch because it's got a pouch that's hanging. So I have a possum that comes and visits at night. So it's just wonderful to see nature. And here in Southport, which is fairly urban kind of area, but because I've planted all these trees around the house that have now grown and kind of has a real treehouse feel. And that's the thing is that, so many people are cutting down their trees, and it's just great to be able to actually plant some trees. And it's amazing how nature will come and be attracted to that, because it's almost a rarity nowadays to see many trees at places, because there's a lot of maintenance with trees, right? But what I found is that all the birds come, the possums come, it attracts the animals when you create more nature around you, when you plant trees. So I'm grateful for trees.
Yeah, it's interesting with nature. Like it's the kindest thing we've got, because they all get on. They don't worry about whether you're not the same as me, or you're a rock, or you're hard, or nature's amazing how it just, they all have a symbiotic relationship with each other and they can get on. It's, I'm amazed at sometimes how you see just a plant growing out of concrete.
Yes. Phenomenal.
Just
out of the side of a building. Like I had one on my window ledge. It was a tiny little plant. I don't know where the seed must have flown through the air somehow. And out of the outside of my window ledge on the upstairs part of my house is a tiny little plant that started to grow out of the concrete, out of the side of the building. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And obviously I won't leave it there. I won't leave it there. It'll take over the house, no doubt. But still, it just amazes me. Yeah, nature is just phenomenal, and how everything just works in synchronicity, which is why also going for bushwalks is such a healing thing. Isn't it? Getting out amongst nature, or the ocean, or whatever it is, just getting out, just, taking a deep breath of fresh air away from your bloody mask, right? If you're going to wear a mask, make sure it's like this, okay? Make sure you're spreading the love while you're wearing the mask, okay? If you must wear a mask, then do put a love heart on it, I suggest, so that you can spread some love while you're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we should do a stock run of that, to just like bring another one in, because people will get onto that.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I think you could have a lot of fun, if they're going to force them to wear masks, as apparently they are now on aeroplanes. They're forcing people to wear masks, I saw, with my friend Derek Balance, who just hopped on a plane. He said, this is the way of things now. Everyone was wearing a mask on the plane. So interesting times at the moment, that's for sure. And there's some things we can't control, right? Yeah. There's some things like COVID. We can't control what's going on. We can't control what we're being fed by the mainstream media. And I can tell you a lot of it is just crap, right? I mean, where are they getting a lot of these statistics from? Why isn't anyone talking about how many people are dying of the flu right now? It just blows me away. They're all talking about COVID, and how do they know people are actually dying of COVID and not other things? Because apparently more than 80% of people that are dying of COVID have other health issues. They've got, heart conditions, or, diabetes, or whatever else is going on for them. So how do they know it's actually COVID? So I question everything, and I do encourage people, if you're buying everything you're hearing on the mainstream news right now, you could well be living in fear, you could be panicking, you could be in anxiety and high stress right now. And I suggest just notice where you're at with the news that we're being fed. And then there's all the alternative news out there as well, and there's a whole lot of other opinions of what's going on. So I do recommend that you do your own research with everything and make your own informed choice, and always come from a loving space. So just get the look, everyone's at where they're at, right? Regardless of what we think of where they're at, everyone is where they're at. My concern is for people to live long, happy lives, and for people to live long, happy lives, you need to come from a loving space, not from fear.
Yeah.
As you know, some powers that be that are out there right now want people to live in fear.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting when we talked about the smile before, just energetically, how that can correct and balance and reset you from an energy space, because you're not in fear. Just something as simple as smile, because it creates that love feeling within you, then resets all your chakra system, which is your energy base, and then you're getting a hit out of it as well as them. So it's a two-way thing, a smile, whether they smile back or not. It is, that's the bonus if they do. However, it is that really good for your immunity and your well-being, basically, when you just something simple as a smile.
Yes, this is where, I don't know if you've ever done intentional laughter. Have you, Katie? Have you ever been to a laughter yoga, or you have? So it's amazing, one person starts laughing. You can laugh over anything. You can just, anything silly. People just start laughing, and then suddenly, next thing you know, you're laughing at people's laughter, and then it just snowballs, and it's just so much fun to just laugh, just for the hell of laughing, right? Or smile for the hell of smiling, It's amazing how it can lift your energy.
And it becomes contagious, because then that person might give the next smile on. It's all a pay it forward. So
absolutely. So Katie, I'm curious, why did you start the kindness community, and can you tell us a little bit about your background as well?
I've got an energy therapist background. I'm very into metaphysics. I sort of love the fact that we have this power source and free energy, and I've always felt we could heal ourselves no matter what. We've got the ability within us. And I'm a bit of a wordsmith. I listen to what people say and understand how that can affect their energy by, being a big word that everyone seems to love is but. And for me, it's a bloody useless thought, because you'll be rambling on about something and then you'll put a but in it. So you cut the energy straight up. And when I was looking back in January 2018, and it was just after the Dolly Everett tragic suicide. For those, she was the Akubra girl for the Australian people, which is a hat. And it became very big because it was all about bullying at school that she was suffering. And it just struck me, because the response from the politicians was, let's have a national day for bullying, an anti-bullying task force, and then let's put in all these anti-bullying programs. And it was like, well, hang on. If people like Wayne Dyer tell us, and Deepak Chopra, all these fantastic thought leaders tell us where your energy goes, that's what you create. If we're doing all this bullying, like a national day for bullying, that's all we're going to create more of. And I felt we needed another paradigm. We needed to create something totally different to replace what we have. And, it's a total culture shift, because we don't look for the positives in what we say. We tend to go along with what people are saying to us, which is a lot of what's going on at the moment, and not realising the words and the energy that are associated with it, and what it can do to us physically. So that's where I just said, well, we need something different. And from the anti-bullying, let's go kindness. Let's take a whole new slant on this. And I've built a paradigm around kindness with 8 keys, and just gone from there. We've been mainly online, and we're now just looking at other programs of ways we can get into workplaces and schools with teaching these keys of kindness.
Beautiful. And would you be able to share those keys with us today?
And it's based on an acronym of kindness. So the K is about kinship, and that's about tribe, basically. I is integrity and wisdom, and in actions and deeds as well. The N is non-judgmental, Then D is for diversity. The next N is for neuroscience, because everything about kindness can be backed by science now, and quantum physics. E is about empathy and compassion. Service to others is the S, and the last one is my S is smile. Just let's smile. Let's just keep
Beautiful.
smiling.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And Denna has just said, love your work. It's so important at the moment that everyone remembers to be kind. Absolutely, Denna. Thank you for your comments and for saying hello to us. Thank you, Denna. And for anyone else who's joined us, I'd love to hear from you. What are you grateful for today? And what are some ways that we can show kindness out there? I think that they're fantastic, those keys, Katie. I absolutely love that. It's such a simple thing to be kind, isn't it? And I think it's actually our human nature. I think it's our innate human nature actually to be kind to others and be kind to ourselves, because we come in so loving, we come in so open, and then, experiences happen, stuff happens, we make it mean things, and then, people can end up, with a whole lot of issues that are unresolved, which is why hurt people, right? And Dennis saying, I wish I had a pen to write down those 8 keys. Well, actually, the keys are on your Facebook group, aren't they, Katie?
Yes. Yeah. You can go and have a look at them there.
Yeah. Have a look at the community.
When you're talking about control before, and that's the thing, we've got to have self-control. So if we can be kind to ourselves, we can be kind to others, because that's where it starts. It's a self-reflection, self-awareness. A lot of it's about choice theory, which was William Glasser, and the relationships we can have with each other is about how we can be kind to ourselves, which then radiates back out and gives us connection with others in a kind way.
I love that. It's the simple things in life are often the best, aren't they? I think people tend to overcomplicate things way too much. We're brought up with dramas, literally dramas on TV all the time, aren't we? There's Netflix has got drama after drama. You get so sucked into some of those dramas, you can be there for 24 hours nonstop and want to see the next episode of whatever it is. Dramas in Hollywood, we see dramas, and in between there's little sprinklings of love and romance and hope and inspiration. I love the movies based on true stories where there is so much inspiration. And I guess inspiration comes from when you have a big downturn in life and you turn that around. How have you come from your hardship and how have you overcome that? As I say, at the end of every breakdown, there's a breakthrough.
Yes.
So for you, Katie, I'm curious, what are some of your biggest breakdowns and what are some breakthroughs that you've had in your life?
One of the biggest breakdowns was just even growing up. I've worn glasses since I was 3 years old, and just being bullied and teased about that. That was, very hard. But I broke through that. I got there's Sharon on there. Just had to accept that was my life. And then thank God they invented contact lenses, and very good ones. So that was a bit of a breakthrough for me, that I just felt like I wasn't this person that everyone told me I was, with glasses, 4 eyes and you're ugly, and stuff like that. And God bless my mother, she's passed now. However, but when I was about 8, she had me in cat-sized glasses that Dame Edna made famous later. But I was, it was still hard, that people pick on you for your weaknesses. So, it took me a long time to get to a point of, well, that's who I am. I can't change this. So, that was one of my big ones. And the bullying, just being picked on for it was seeing that you're right, the hurt person hurts others. So, and the more I delved into the background of the choice theory and kindness community, the way I'd set it up is that it wasn't going to be hierarchical. We couldn't control it from the top. It had to be devised, that the rules and acceptance of what was acceptable, or the behaviours that were acceptable, had to come from the grassroots. We all had to have a say in it so we could own it and control it. So that was another way of that became a breakthrough too, that we had that paradigm's totally different from the way it's set up in schools and workplaces now, where the hierarchy is the controllers. We have to have the control down here and down the bottoms, and then everyone owns it.
Yeah, I can really relate to that, Katie, because I was also bullied as a child, as a first generation Australian in Sydney, in the Northern Beaches
Yeah.
area of Sydney. I had Greek, Turkish, Ukrainian blood, and bullied as a child. What happened with me is that I felt like I didn't belong at school. I felt I didn't belong at home. I was kind of between two worlds because my parents, particularly my dad, had very, they were very strict European parents. And then there was the liberation of the freedom that all the, the Aussie kids, the English kids had, that I felt that I was missing out on that freedom. And so in the end, I ended up rebelling, and I got kicked out of home at a young age and went totally off the rails. And after a few months of craziness, and went from dux of my primary school to failing everything in year 11, went through a big period of depression and self-harm. Really, I was drinking and smoking a lot. I just wanted to disappear for a long time. And thank goodness I woke up to myself, and I realized that the grass isn't greener on the other side. And I actually had beautiful, loving parents that were doing their best to show how much they loved me and cared about me with their rules, etc. And I just resisted and rebelled. And now, we have the most extraordinary relationship. My parents actually celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary on Sunday. So the day after the Good News Day, they've got their 50th wedding anniversary this Sunday. And Dad's 82, Mum's 76. Dad survived 4 heart attacks, diabetes, prostate cancer. Mum's just found out she's got atrial fibrillation. Like there's just the health issues come up as they get older, but they're the most beautiful people, and I'm so grateful for them. And we've been able to talk about all this stuff from the past and been able to resolve it. And even just on the weekend, Dad just shared openly that he was doing the best he could, coming to, they migrated to a brand new country from Turkey in 1970 with 2 suitcases and $300 in their pocket, and started a new life. And,
Wow.
they worked their butts off to create some kind of life for my brother and myself that, that wasn't in a Muslim country, that wasn't so controlled as things are over there. And really, when you think about things in the past and some of the stuff that's happened over the years, we've actually got it pretty damn good right now. Like, things can be a hell of a lot worse than they are currently.
Yeah.
And I think we can just learn so much from this. And that's part of why I started the Global Good News Challenge, because growing up, my dad loved to watch the news, and there was always negative news. Of course, as mainstream news, there's so much negativity. And that also led to a lot of depression for me, because I thought, what's the point of living if everything's so miserable and depressing out there? And I remember one night after the news, I was only about 8 years of age or so, and I remember going up to Dad and just crying and going, why is it so nasty? Why are people like this out there? Why is the world so miserable? And he said, well, that's just how life is, right? That's how he saw the world. And for a long time I believed that. And then I started working in the media, and I realized actually there's a whole lot of good news and a whole lot of people doing amazing stuff as well. Let's celebrate more of that, right? So it's a matter of not dwelling on the negative like is currently happening. There's a lot of negativity out there right now. However, at the same time, there's a lot of great people doing amazing things as well. So let's focus more on that. Let's celebrate more of that and help lift people's spirits with the great things that are happening out there, and with our own resilience, with the kindness people are sharing, with smiling as we're going down the street, with, opening our hearts and really reaching out and connecting with others. There's a lot of opportunity at this time, at the same time as there's depression with some people, right? There's the biggest success stories have come out of the darkest times.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the breakthroughs, isn't it, really? And I think, most of us have been to the depths, so that we have to come back up to the heights. And, I went through a terrible work situation just recently in the last 4 years, and that was again being bullied, and it again brought up all these memories, and it was like, oh no, I've got to be kind, and I found it hard really to be kind, but I learned to have boundaries then, which was the kindness to myself, rather than taking it on board, so yes,
being kind to yourself.
Yeah, that's it. And then if we can get that connection, which is all it is, and that's all we want, is that sense of belonging, which is innate in us, by just creating something that creates it. It gives us a stick or a yardstick, basically. And if it's kindness, let's do it. Let's get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really great to be mindful of kindness, and what you focus on grows, right? What you focus on grows. So be mindful of what you focus on, and your language is really important too. So say don't think of a pink elephant or a blue elephant or whatever. That's exactly what you think of, right? So
Yeah.
so think of what you do want, not what you don't want. What do you want? We want more good news. We want more kindness. We want more compassion, more love. That's what we do want. And really, I think now is actually a really powerful time. I think a lot of people I've found are actually reaching out and saying, let's connect, and as a community, let's become stronger as a community, because there's 99% of us versus the 1% that are ruling the world right now, and we know that we've fed a lot of lies in mainstream media. We know we are. A lot of people are waking up to this now, and I mean, you only have to just do a little bit of research and go with your gut feeling, and you'll know that there's something fishy going on right now with the whole COVID scamdemic, as I call it. So there's definitely a whole lot going on behind the scenes, and some people will choose to bury their heads in the sand and think that the government's got their best interests at heart. But interestingly, I was doing a bit of research on the weekend, and did you know that the biggest killer of all time is actually democide, death by government? The biggest killer of all time, 210 million people killed by government, and that's not including the wars and everything over the last century. So do your own research on that one too. People trust the government. Well, the government is there to govern, right? And it's about control. And so to gain back control, which we all have, actually, we all have control within, with the love and the compassion and the kindness that we can bring to the party, with the universal consciousness, tapping into that power, right, that we all have, tapping into that intuition, that it's very, very powerful, and connecting as a community, because together we can make a difference, as I say. Together we can make a difference. And yes. So I know it's a little bit controversial, some things I've just said, and go do your own research. I
put up something today, and it was all about critical thinking, and it was the Tony Robbins podcast. So, I know he has some power in this world, and he was interviewing a Nobel Prize winner, and they're questioning the mortality rates. So we need to be thinking, and this whole cases, what they've never given us a definition of it. What does it mean? So we can have all these numbers, but are they a little bit? Lots, you don't know. But the thing is, at the start of it all, as you said, we are born kind. We are. That's, you watch these little kids. They're all about sharing. My little granddaughter, she's just 2, and the other day I hit my head, and she was like, "Oh, Grandma, are you okay?" Like really straight into empathy. And I think that's what we've lost too, because a lot of our children have been technologicalized, as I call it. So there's desensitivity there. And however, it doesn't negate their feelings that they're actually feeling. They're actually probably in a really not nice place, a lot of them, but they don't know what to do with it, because there's nothing leading them to a better place. And that's what the kindness community is for. It's about, let's start with these little keys, and let's see how we can grow these, and what can you do within your community to be able to create a kindness community. It's not hard. Put a garden in, put some friendship sheets, like buddy benches in. So you're opening your hearts up to other people's pain. And that's, we're afraid if we just go to it and we see what it's about, and we listening to another person, we can help. We've all got it in us.
Yeah, I like that. Buddy benches, you said. I hadn't heard that before.
Yeah. It's just if someone's not got friends, they sit on it. And if you've taught your community to recognize that, you go and help, I'm looking to do a big sponsorship drive with buddy benches, let me assure you. So
great. I love that. And you've got about 1,000 members.
Pardon?
You've got 1,000 members now in your group.
Yes, it's been great. I've had a great VA that's been doing a lot of good work for me, as well as just, just people recognise kindness. They want it deep down in their hearts. That's what they want. Because, you know, when you're talking about all this lies and scamming that we're getting, are they being kind to us? I don't think so. They're being kind to themselves, you know. And you look, love is the highest vibration we've got. We know that. Heart math tells us that's it. And we can go from there, you know, like, let's just build our hearts and radiate it out. So
yes, I love that. I love that. Thank you, Dana, for all these great comments you're putting in there. Dana is saying that she was adopted from Indonesia to country South Australia, white parents. Fortunately for her, she didn't suffer a lot of racism. Her parents protected her, but she did when she went to university. She says she often thinks about the kids that don't have support to get them through the bullying with a balance of positive attention. Yes. Some people don't speak up and don't want to rock the boat. That is true, Dana. And she says, Aldrin, you always amaze me because you're not afraid to speak what's on your mind. That is true, Dana. I'm not afraid to speak what's on your mind because it's about speaking truth as well. This is another thing I stand for, is not just good news, it's also truth, being true to yourself. Because if you're not being true to yourself and speaking your truth, most likely you are speaking a lie in some ways because you're withholding the truth, right? So if you're withholding the truth, in some ways you are actually living a lie. It might be a small way, but you know, why hold back? Why hold back? I'm all about speak up and speak out about what you believe in. And if just more people did that without making others wrong, right? We're not making others wrong here. You know, you want to accept everyone's at where they're at, okay? Except I probably do make the psychopaths and sociopaths running the world wrong a little bit. However, but in general, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? Everyone's entitled to their opinion with everything. I just encourage people to open their minds, right? Yeah. Open your minds. And Dennis's buddy benches are in some schools.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that you're talking about truth because, you know, you look at Brene Brown's wholehearted approach of shame, and you can never get to a place of wholeheartedness while you're carrying shame. And I think we've been shamed a lot. Like, and this is what's happening now too. There's shame. Look what happened to those 3 girls. You know, I don't condone what they did, but did we need to go down that path with what, you know, the shame that came with it? And within your heart, you cannot be wholehearted when you're not speaking your truth. That's fact. Totally fact.
Yeah, interesting. I love that. And Dennis says you challenge people to think a new way. That's exactly right. And, you know, this all, you know, how I first started to wake up was a friend of mine about 5 years ago said, oh, you know, 9/11 was an inside job, don't you? I said, what do you mean 9/11 was? I said, what do you mean 9/11 was an inside job? I believed everything I saw on the TV, you know. Anyway, I started to do some research into it, and I was flabbergasted. I was shocked at the footage that wasn't shown in the mainstream media, all these other stories that hadn't come out, and I was flabbergasted. And so I started to go down the rabbit hole, right? I started to dig. And then, you know, the next year I interviewed David Icke, was doing a worldwide wake-up tour. Now, David Icke, his videos have been going absolutely viral. And interestingly, his YouTube account was shut down recently. He had 1 million followers on his YouTube account because he's been speaking up about what's happening with COVID, right? Now we know that there's agendas being pushed for a cashless society, for forced vaccinations, for 5G. 5G towers have been going up everywhere during lockdown. We know that there's certain things at play here, right? So do your own research once again. But the thing is, once you wake up, right, and once you start to notice that we've been lied to in certain areas, you can't help but question everything. So the minute COVID started for me in March, in my gut, I just felt something is not right here. I need to share more truth, more good news, which is part of why I've started the Global Good News Challenge as well, because the world needs it right now. We need to lift people's spirits. We need to get people questioning. We need people to step into their magnificence and their exuberance and this universal power that we all have, right? And rather than living small lives, we need to, I believe, come back into that universal consciousness and inner power that we all have, that so many are not tapping into or not allowing for themselves. So there you go.
I heard the definition of kindness is actually love in action, and this is all this is about. This whole scenario that's on, it's love versus fear. They know the fear will affect our immune system straight up, and really, that's where we need to be taking our power back. And it doesn't come from staying inside. It doesn't come from having a mask, because it's actually creating more acids back into your system and making you sick. And it certainly doesn't come from forced vaccinations. We've been given a beautiful gift of a body that just can do anything if we're in the right frame of mind. And when we're ever kind to it and we treat it like a temple, that's what happens. We can create great health ourselves.
Absolutely. Yes, I couldn't agree more with that. And that is so important to realize. So look, if you're in parts of the world where you're forced to wear a mask out in public, I suggest as soon as you can get that damn thing off and take in a deep breath of fresh air, that you do that. Also get yourself some sunshine. There's simple things you can do to build your immunity. Do something you're passionate about that you love. It could be creating a lovely dish. It could be, cooking. It could be artwork. Do something creative.
Yeah.
Other things we can do to build our immune system is eating whole foods, having fresh filtered water, right? These are just some simple things we can all do. What are some other things, Katie, you'd suggest to boost our immune system?
Oh, look, there's chanting.
Yes, chanting's a good one.
Even humming, because it gives you a vibration inside. Deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, meditation, mindfulness is a huge one, because you need to stay in the moment. You get into fear when you get into the past or the present. You stay here in that moment, you'll be fine. You're concentrating on your focus of your breath or in your body. Laughter is a great thing. Great foods, exercising, getting the body moving, getting the blood going around. There's many things. I actually teach a Stress Busters course, and that's part of this, where I give at least 6 to 8 tools you take home with you to be able to practice. It's all about keeping your immunity up, basically.
Wonderful. I love that. And also dancing. I was playing some Shakira last night. Shakira, I had one of my lovely, she was a client, now she's become a close friend, Elena Massey. We've been working together, and she's adorable. And we were playing some Shakira last night, and we were, doing a bit of organising around the house and things like that. It was really, really cool. And just playing some fun music and having a little dance, singing. We also doing some singing to me and Bobby McGee. Janis Joplin was one of my favorite people when I was growing up. Just some of these classic songs, and these boots were made for walking. We played that one with Nancy Sinatra, and just getting into music. Music is fantastic, and just enjoying these simple things in life are really important.
Because the sun is the solar flares are very high with the energy coming in. We can use all of this, because it's that's what makes the earth grow, is sunshine. Look at everything. It depends on sunshine to grow. Yes. And we're not any different. You really, it's a must for me to be walking every day out in that sunshine. So it's and if I can be singing a lot as I go, that's great. Skipping even, get back to that childlike, have fun.
Yes, play. I love skipping. Skipping's so much fun. We used to do hopscotch as kids. Hopscotch. Yep. Remember hopscotch?
Did you do elastics?
Yes, and Twister. Remember that game, Twister? I love that game. It's good for you, stretching your body out. Particularly if you're sitting down at your computer all the time, you definitely want to keep your stretching. And massage. Massage is fantastic too.
Yeah, definitely. And just stretch your body. Breathe and stretch. It just opens you up. And really, most of this that's going on too with the love and fear, it's a consciousness thing. How you want to be in your consciousness. So and being conscious of being kind is huge, because it's there's an acronym there: DOSE, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. That's what kindness gives you. And so it's, have you had your dose every day? So, and that creates. It comes from connection. It comes from doing things you love. Serotonin is you sleep, good sleep. And your endorphins is when you're happy. Just,
Yes.
And, with that Stress Busters, we talk about 2 organs in the body that people don't talk about too much, and it's thymus and vagus nerve. Now, vagus nerve runs from the back of your skull here right to the base of your spine, but it reacts to sound and vibration. So singing, dancing, movement, all of these things all help it. And it plays into our parasympathetics, which is your rest and digest. So, and that's when we're not, when we're in love, that's what happens. When we're in fear, we're in the other flight, or freeze. And that's all just sympathetic system. So we need to be aware, get education too. Like you're saying, ask these questions, learn more about your own body as well, because we've got these tools that can just keep us well, really healthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything is there. Everything's available to you. It's just reaching out, and they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? So, if you've got any wisdom at all from what we've shared today, then I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Please pop in the chat. What have you got so far from this conversation? And what is something maybe you're going to do differently now moving forward to either display some kindness or maybe share some good news? Are you going to join the Good News Challenge? I welcome you to do that. You can start at any time within the 8 days from today till next Monday. You can start eight consecutive Facebook Lives, and you can either do it on your profile or do it in the Loving Life group. Just hashtag Global Good News Challenge in the post, and all the details are on the Global Good News Challenge page. And Kindness Community, of course, check that out. Katie, we could keep chatting. I'd love to keep chatting to you.
This is what happened the other day. We just kept going.
We could keep chatting. I'm aware that we're already at 40 minutes. So is there any final words you'd like to say?
Oh, look, what you're doing, Aldwin, is beautiful. I think it's wonderful, and and by actually naming the gratitudes, it's about that magneting more. You become the magnet. So thank you for giving that opportunity to people. I think that's just such a gift for all of us, and your energy with it is fantastic. And I'm going to put it up on my Kindness Community page and put the challenge out there for people to, let's get involved. Let's keep spreading, building momentum towards love and kindness.
Beautiful. And of course, in spreading gratitude, you're spreading kindness. You're being kind to yourself. You're being kind to others. You're lifting the energy around you. And automatically, when you share your good news, you're now drawing people in, also attracting people to whatever good news you have to share. So it is very magnetic. People are actually drawn to the light, and they are repelled by darkness, right?
Yeah.
So as much as you may think the opposite, we actually do want to be uplifted in life. And unless you're absolutely miserable yourself and you want to have a pity party, well, that's maybe a different story. But generally speaking, if you're in line with your true magnificence as a human being, then you will be drawn to the light, and you will want more light beings, and more, you want to be lifting people's spirits around you, okay? And the more we lift people's spirits around us, the more we collaborate, connect with the community, create this kindness community, and spread this love across the world, the more we can create hope and inspiration, and we can create change. Be the change you want to see in the world, as Gandhi said, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Be the change you want to see in the world. Is there any quotes you live by, Katie, that you love?
Probably that one. My mother always taught me just actions speak louder than words. Always, do it. Just do it. Don't procrastinate. Just do it. So I think it's one I forget sometimes. However, it's just it is. People watch, like our kids. They all watch actions. They don't necessarily listen to us, but they will watch what you do. So if they're watching you open a door for someone, or smile at someone, or say hello and be kind, that's what you're going to get. You're going to bring beautiful people into the world.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I just want to do a shout out. Thank you to Coin, to the team at Coin that are putting a press release out today as well about the Global Good News Challenge. Thank you to Dana for introducing me to Coin, which is like Bartercard's digital currency, kind of like that. It's based on goods and services. And I think looking at some alternate ways to do your banking is a great idea, because things are certainly changing in that world as well. So thank you to the team at Coin for that. And thank you to everyone who is supporting kindness and good news and truth out there. And of course, if you want to make a difference, then you be the change. You go out and you make a change, and then you will inspire others to do the same. And the ripple effect of that can be absolutely massive. And even if you just, shift one person's life with what you share, someone could be depressed out there and you share your good news and your gratitude, and it may automatically lift people up and take them out of that dark space. I've had 4 friends take their own lives by the age of 45. 1 million people worldwide take their own lives. It's absolutely tragic. So we want to shift that. We want to create more of life where people love their lives, where they see hope, where they see that inspiration, and they want to live because they see an exciting future.
Yeah.
So I think,
thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely to chat.
Thank you, Katie. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll see you at the Kindness Community Group. Make sure you head over there, and also to the Global Good News Challenge page as well for all details on the challenge. Any final words, Katie?
Just be happy. I heard Jim Fortin say that this morning. It's a choice. Just be happy.
Yes, love it. Love it. Thank you, Katie. That's beautiful. Be happy. That's right. Don't worry, be happy, right? That's a great song about that. Don't worry, be happy now. Dun, 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 da, da, da. Be happy.
Exactly.
Be happy. Lots of love to you all, spreading lots of love, kindness, good news, truth. Thank you so much for joining us. Love to hear what you're grateful for in the chat. Love to see you on the Global Good News Challenge. And please do come and connect with us at the Kindness Community and also the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page and group. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.
Thank you.